You caught me mid-sip. It's good morning. I'm having my coffee. Hello and welcome to my twin flame journey. I am Shine, and this is going to be the weekly reading from June 7th through the 14th. Twin flames and soulmates that are currently in separation. Please keep in mind these readings are general, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Also keep in mind that masculine and feminine stand more for energy than gender, so again, apply it as they may fit to your situation. This also includes the gender of the people on the cards, although I don't see any court cards. Well, I see one court card here. Also, if you'd like a personal reading, all the information is below, and if you can't afford a personal reading but still feel like I help you and would like to contribute to the channel, donations are greatly appreciated. How to do that is also available below. What we have here is the overview for the week, and this is also part of the overview. This is the clarifiers for these cards. This is what the masculine is thinking, what they're feeling, and advice for them. Same for the feminine. And then we have advice up here for the situation as a whole. So let us begin with the overview. Well, we got TikTok. Time's a ticking. Oops. TikTok. Chaos and conflict. So obviously there's some more drama going on as usual. We're having to decide about dealing with current situations, past situations. The time is upon us for new paths, deciding new paths. 30, TikTok, timelessness, divine timing, immeasurable time. The Oracle's message: when humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order, were happening now in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire, so release your agenda. Let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time. Relationship message: love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, its divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give and receive it. I was going to say something there, but never mind. I'm sure upon hearing that, everyone's kind of got their own feeling about that sentence. Its clock is eternal and ticks according to the beating of your heart, in perfect rhythm. Isn't that wonderful to know? Love is always right on time. Prosperity message: your prosperity is co-created by your endeavors as they occur in human-made time and the eternal efforts of your most important manifestation partner, Spirit, in a divine, measureless time. So keep doing what you're doing, stay positive, and make a commitment to remain in high vibration thoughts and feelings. If you heed the message of this card, it will seem as if you will align with your highest calling and your highest good in no time at all, like magic. So what's all the fuss about? Not having enough time. The prosperous life that is yours will never pass you by. Protection message: have you been feeling as if the clock is ticking and gotten a little nervous that your dreams are taking too long to manifest? There is nothing to fear. You will never run out of time for the important things. That again is another sentence that I have a different thought about. The miracles that are yours and yours alone can't be missed. Isn't that amazing? You're in such capable hands, with guides and angels hovering in the invisible spaces, ensuring that your journey will be filled with all sorts of goodies. Let your anxiety be gently dispelled by your faith. Spirit will never deny you your highest good. All is yours in divine, appropriate timing. You can relax. And then we have 33. Chaos and conflict, essential meanings, disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. The oracle's message: opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and dispense seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. Seems like I'm conflicted with a couple of these sentences here. Everybody needs to be understood. Understand and be understood. It's not one or the other for me. Relationship message: stubbornness is keeping you in a state of opposition. The incessant need to be right will only serve to prolong the conflict that deep down you want to be resolved. This is an opportune moment to learn about your values, your sense of self, what's really important to you. Some things are non-negotiable. If that's true, it's not necessary to fight. Can you find a way through the stormy emotions to higher ground? Soon the air will clear, and you will be in a much better place than before, for the storm will have passed, blazing a path for new growth in its wake. Things can become electric and enlightened, always better than before, if you use this time constructively. Prosperity message: circumstances appear to be chaotic, but everything that is happening now is in truth shaking things up so you can find the real path to your prosperity. Yes, it's a stormy time, and it feels as if there are opposing forces wherever you turn. Be reassured that there is divine purpose in this chaos. Everything that doesn't work is being taken from you, so the truest parts of yourself remain. The events occurring now are essential for your ultimate prosperity. This chaos is divinely inspired, even though it doesn't appear that way now. In time, you will know this to be true. I mean, and we have the tower here, so that kind of fits with that message. Protection message: this is an advantageous moment to restore order and recognize the opportunity for negotiation. Even in the seeming chaos, there is a kind of divine order, a complete restoring of elements. This is powerful. If your intention is to find the best solution for the highest good of all, there is positive news. The timing is perfect. Things are already stirred up, so don't be afraid to jump into the mix. You'll discover everything you need to know about how this situation affects you long term. Be present in the eye of chaos. This moment is valuable. Don't waste it. So that's why I guess we got the tick-tock. Tick-tock. And to further get into this, we have the tower. So yes, there is a shakeup going on. And we have Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Two of Cups. So just looking at this right here, I can see that, as we know, a lot of masculines were in codependent situations that they went into after this situation. A lot of those are ending. People are trying to get back with people from the past. So perhaps this is it. You know, no more investing in their current situation, making their way towards the feminine because they've got their epiphanies, their aha moments. They know it's time to change. This is just, I'm going to read further into these things, but this right off the bat, it kind of shows that. And it also shows people wary of giving second chances, reinvesting, thinking long-term potential in a situation because of things that have happened in the past. So we kind of got like two things that are possibly at play here. The Tower, of course, sudden shocking change, destroying your picture of peace and harmony, because again, point B. I always describe how we get from point A to point C, we got to deal with point B. So this could be point B for some masculines having to end, again, their current situation, making their way towards the feminine. Sudden shocking change, destroying your picture of peace and harmony, something that blows your mind, throws you through a loop. This is also people coming out of the blue wanting to reconcile. Will throw you off kilter, something you didn't expect. Faulty foundations, false thoughts and beliefs, and actions. Again, something that had to end because it was not based in truth, whether that we're talking about the past, the masculine's current situation, both. It's a humbling, frightening, but necessary experience. Feeling afraid, wrong, naive, or blind about a situation. Negative feelings associated, with the friggin' sirens. If I could only just be on an island unto myself. Or blind about a situation, negative feelings associated with the event, anger, grief, confrontation. Again, this could be dealing with what happened in the past. That's why we're unsure about reinvesting in a situation. Forces you to question your beliefs, behaviors, and attitudes or your perceptions. Penetrates to the core of your being and affects you spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Destruction equals creation. An awakening, sometimes rock bottom for some people. And it's also about our personal defenses, again, because people don't want to repeat. People don't want to allow people from the past back in who haven't really changed, who didn't handle possible reconciliation talks in the past, didn't hold themselves accountable. Again, people show who they are. Usually you should believe them. And for some, the way the masculine has presented himself, it's going to cause even more difficulty to get somebody to take them back, especially if a lot of time has passed by. Instead of dealing with it when it happened, again, some masculines were wanting to downplay the things that they did, make it more about the other person's reactions than their actions, lied to cover up lies, again, and realizing in the aftermath that didn't work. Because they were still trying to hold on to those behavior patterns, those defense mechanisms that they dealt with in the past to get away with stuff, to not hold themselves accountable. But of course, again, as I always say, know what you're dealing with, how somebody presents themselves, and consistency over time. Allow people to prove if someone is trying to come back in. Just because they are offering the cup, don't just take it back. Again, allow time for people to prove themselves, because again, words can be illusions, actions can be temporary, just to further an agenda. It's consistency, as I always tell people. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, lost opportunities, a lack of planning and foresight. Financial opportunities that might fall through, careful spending, limited success, and need to realign one's goals. Corruption, greed, taking what's not earned. Someone who could be opportunistic, exploiting others. That's why I said a lot of people deal with narcissists or people who just using people just for filling voids and meeting needs. Be careful, like I said, with that. Or again, the masculine could be ending a situation that's what they were in it for. It was just being opportunistic. Someone to have a roof over their head, or to keep them from being lonely, or to pay their way while they, again, still staying in their karma, their usual stuff. But it's time for the shakeup. It's time for things to change. It's time for those behavior patterns or ways of being to fall away, because they're not right and they hurt people, including themselves. So, again, those wake-up calls happening here. Warns of a risk and need for planning in career and finances. Now, again, a lot of people are if we're dealing with Codependent type people, again, some people aren't looking for love, they're looking for help. Know what you're dealing with, take things slow, let people prove themselves. Also, don't lose focus just because the woo woo comes back in. Don't lose focus on other areas of your life. And for some, they've been emphasizing a lot on finances and career. Get that going, get that under control. And this way, too, if both people are focusing on that, then there isn't a possibility for people using people just for living situations or for stuff, because people are able to take care of themselves. Again, for a lot of people, this was part of the lessons. Boundaries, self-love, self-respect. Don't you treat people as means to an end, etc., etc. There's all kinds of lessons involved here. And then the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse: financial failure, loss, loneliness, lack of resources, limitations, fears of financial stuff, or perhaps not looking for long-term commitments. Again, that's fine. You know, sometimes jumping from one thing to the next, jumping from relationship to relationship, sometimes you need a little time. Again, build up the things that you need in order to become self-sufficient. Make sure you're entering into relationships for the right reasons. Make sure that you're showing somebody that you're not entering into the situation to repeat what was before, in regards to, again, not being an equal contributor, not holding your own in a relationship financially and otherwise. So again, allow things to unfold over time. Don't lose sight on this, just trying to get back into the relationship. You know, that this part of it doesn't end just because you get involved, especially if this was an issue in the past. You know, you also have to, again, if you were the moochy one, you have to show that you're not looking to come back for those same reasons. Again, to convince the feminine, you're going to have to show up, which you should be showing up for yourself anyway, because you should be. You know, this is for you, your growth, your evolution, your journey as well. It's not just about relationships. So it's about personal growth and development. Financial failures, problems with investments, lack of resources. Again, perhaps this was an issue in the past. This could have been an issue of why people didn't feel like they had what they needed to, because perhaps they didn't want to present themselves as being moochy again or whatever. So they wanted to establish themselves a little bit to present themselves as changed. So again, there could have been delays because of that as well. But again, just because you have financial delays didn't mean you should have, you know, apology delays, accountability delays. In my opinion, you know, one has nothing to do with the other. But anyway, despite a lot of time and effort, there seems to be many limitations to future success as a result of a poor foundation. Money fears, quarrels over property, financial burdens, responsibilities. In regards to relationships, not 100% sure of the long-term potential in something. You know, if somebody is husband or wife material. Or if we're single, we might be just, again, looking for fun, casual dating, nothing too serious or long-term. You know, that might be where people are at. And that, perhaps, if something was really bad, again, take things slow. Find out, again, if people are genuine, if people have changed, if they are, you know, long-term potential partners, if they are husband wife material, because again, you don't want to reinvest in something and waste your time. So again, get the finances together, show up, do your apologies, hold yourself accountable. Honesty is the best policy. Don't lie to cover up lies, because again, you only shoot yourself in the foot, especially if the other person is perfectly aware of the truth. You only make yourself look bad, which is why a lot of feminines walked, because they said this is a no-win situation, because this person is just not capable of honesty, of accountability, and not a wise investment. So again, the masculine is going to have a little bit more to prove in regards to being trustworthy again, being a person who's worth investing in again, especially if what happened in the past was really bad. This is something that again has to be built over time. Trust has to be built over time. And for a lot of people, there might have been love loss here. People might not even be in love with people anymore because of all the pain, because of all the stuff, because of the waiting and just whatever happened. So love has to grow again over time. So just be aware of that, that if you're putting in any efforts, if you're looking to reconcile, it may not be as quick and easy as you think. And it probably shouldn't be, especially if there were a lot of lies and deception involved. One would be foolish just to welcome the person back in without them ever really admitting to the truth or holding themselves accountable, not proving that they're trustworthy. You probably might be setting yourself up for things repeating. So again, take things slow. And we have the Two of Cups. This is a soulmate card. Commitments, the union of opposites, especially if we're dealing with like even soulmates or twin flames, because again, you're not a carbon copy of each other. A lot of the differences are the things that are meant to be addressed and healed so that there can be harmony and not conflict. Because again, there might be for some people there might be love there, but you don't necessarily like the person because you don't like how they are. Or again, trying to reconcile parts of people, but again, have your boundaries up. It depends. Like I said, it's something that it's going to have to be over time. You're going to have to see if something can manifest into something long term or not. Use discernment. Again, allow people to show. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't give people a chance, but again, watch yourself. Watch yourself. Coexistence of dark and light. The beauty and power when two become one. Mutual respect, balance, and harmony with each other. Win-win, not just I, it's we. This is how you have to think. A lot of people are doing things to serve their own interests, their own agendas, not considering that their words and their actions and their behaviors affect other people. And when they did affect other people, refusing to acknowledge that because they didn't want to change the way that they were. They wanted to just do whatever they wanted and they didn't have any regard for how that affected anybody. But this is again is a learning experience. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you can't think, oh, solo mio. You have to think of your partner. You have to do right by your partner. No more sneaky, shady, hiding, deceptive, all that nonsense. Heartfelt exchange of emotions, appreciation, kindness, thoughtfulness, feeling special to one another. Marriage or engagement. Some people might be coming trying to offer something, but we're not sure if we want that long term because, again, of whatever's happened in the past, how they've presented themselves in the aftermath, even when they had an opportunity to make things right, to admit to certain things. If they didn't do a good job on that, again, it's going to take some effort, masculines. It doesn't mean that you should be fearful of it or you should not do it because you're afraid that you might whatever. Again, if somebody put a lot of effort into you and you weren't putting any effort back, you need to be able to put in the same effort that that person was putting in before, because that will show that you mean what you say, that you don't just run at the first sight of, this is a lost cause, or I might have this work to do to prove myself. Because if you really love somebody and you really want to be with them, you'll be doing that no problem. Because that person you're showing that person that they do mean something to you and that you do want this relationship and you're willing to do whatever it takes to make things right. That includes putting in the work and effort into yourself so that you can be a better relationship partner and not fall back again into old patterns. Two of Cups is less stable than the Lover's card. So again, it's something that is proven over time. It's also the union of self-love and self-respect. You got to have that to avoid disasters. Nip stuff in the bud. You know what I'm saying? It's also consideration in a partnership. Be considerate of the person that you're with. Heartfelt exchange of emotions. Again, people need to open up, say what they got to say. And a lot of masculines have been dealing with a lot of fear. But this, again, stems from wounding. And this is something that's going to take an effort. And if the masculine is struggling with it, anything that takes an effort, anything that you're struggling with, that's a sign that it's something that's important. Because you're fighting with your ego, you're fighting with conditioning, you're fighting with, lifelong patterns of being. It's not easy to change. Change is difficult, especially when we have to recognize that a lot of our issues stem from ourselves. We're not blaming outside factors. It's holding oneself accountable for their own life, their own choices, where they are. And when you can do that, that is a big sign of growth. So masculine, everybody, we all have to learn how to get out of our own way, but don't fear change within oneself. Don't fear having to put in work and effort into a relationship to prove again that you're trustworthy, that you mean what you say, that you have learned and changed and grown. Because if you really want this relationship, again, you will do it without a second thought, because this person means something to you. This is the person that you want to commit to. And you're gonna have to prove it. You know what I'm saying? And this is the clarifiers. The Tower, why do we have the Tower? Because of vulnerable, abundance, wisdom, frustration, sexual attraction. So again, we're feeling some kind of way, or because of what we've learned in the past, perhaps we're afraid again of investing in a relationship, afraid of opening up, even though we want to have it all with this person, we thought we did in the past. Perhaps again, there's a fear of recommitment due to what's already transpired. From the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, we have the brown-haired man, ending, dark-haired woman, hidden enemy. So again, I've mentioned a lot of masculines are having to end a current situation, no more investing into that. And perhaps they're being faced with the dark-haired woman now, someone who is totally surprised as they are trying to head out the door. And obviously not happy, because they view this person now as a hidden enemy, someone who was perhaps just using them for a living situation or whatever. So the masculine might be having to deal with that. Or the feminine might be still viewing the masculine as someone who cannot be trusted. Some may not want to reinvest in this situation. Or the masculine is wondering if somebody will reinvest, or is it the end, or will they ever be perceived as something other than the hidden enemy. If the person that they're trying to get back with will ever again not hold anger, resentment, all the negative emotions associated with whatever happened here. Again, but you're going to have to show and prove, you know what I'm saying? Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, reconciliation, communication, faith, woman of the world, inspiration, happiness, good news, jealousy, and troubleshoot. So again, this just deals with about, trying to have faith. Woman of the world is somebody who is kind of like the Nine of Pentacles lady. independence. Maybe the masculine sees that the feminine has found her independence, is not chasing after him anymore, is not, so that's how they know it's going to take a little bit of an effort. Um, trying to, again, figure out a way how to have this situation come back together, trying to overcome their fears, trying to figure out a way again to be seen differently. And the Two of Cups is the truth. Dark-haired man, patience, greed, storm, anxiety, the lady, and judgment. We got judgment over here too. So obviously judgment deals with, passing judgment on a situation, wanting to use good judgment, choosing the right path. It also deals with, again, reconciliations, trying to use one's intuition, or this is the lady, your counterpart that you're trying to reunite with. Um, Anxiety, obviously, wondering if you can weather the storm, wondering if you can get what you want, have our desires manifested, hoping it's not too little too late, or, if people's patience have run out in a situation with the dark-haired man, dark-haired woman. We got two people either in their shadow selves, as far as, fear, worry, anxiety, resentment, anger, all these things. Or dark-haired man is also somebody who's known to have been shady in the past. We have truth here, someone who's probably had a hard time with the truth. Or in order to have this reunion, you're going to have to get over your shadow self, and you're going to have to become an honest person and speak the truth. No matter how difficult it may be, no matter how fearful you are of people's perceptions of you, because already I can tell you that the perception probably isn't so good as it is because of lies and deception in the past. So you can only help yourself by becoming honest. Because lying to cover up lies, trying to pretend like nothing ever happened, thinking that people will just take you back without discussing the past is a foolish assumption. It may have worked in the past, but it's not going to work this time around. Honesty is your best policy if you want to try to get somebody to see you in a different light, if you want to try to regain someone's trust. And you can't expect, again, I don't care if it's been 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, to think you can just waltz back into someone's life without being honest about what happened in the past, because no one's going to want to reinvest in someone who cannot hold themselves accountable, who downplays things, who sweeps things under the rug, who thinks that if I let 2, 3, 4, 5 years time pass, maybe it'll all be forgotten. Again, you only make yourself look bad by doing that, because this should have been dealt with when it happened, not 2, 3, 4, 5 years later. But again, not to say that all hope isn't lost, but you're just going to have a harder time trying to get somebody to take you back if you were deceptive in the past and you didn't handle when you were called out on your shit very well. If you still try to act like you didn't do what you did or whatever like that, again, that's why people walked away, because nobody wants to deal with somebody who can set them on fire, watch them burn, and act like they don't give a damn, and then just think that, we can just continue on like nothing ever happened. Narcissists will do that, I tell you that much. So again, know what you're dealing with. And dark-haired man, if it's you, the only way that you're going to have a chance in this, again, is doing what I'm telling you. Because otherwise, this is going to remain in the reverse, because nobody's going to want to deal. And what the masculine is thinking is the Seven of Wands in the reverse. So they're obviously wanting to come out of conflict. We have the Two of Wands here, looking at our paths, trying to figure out what we want. We got the world in our hands, it's time to embrace the future, out with the old, in with the new. And then we have Page of Swords, which is the page of truth, or someone who's seeking truth, or someone who needs to tell the truth or communicate the truth. And then we have the Five of Wands, which again deals with conflict. Inner conflict, could be dealing with conflict externally. You know, in order to resolve conflict, we're going to have to be honest. Again, Seven of Wands in the reverse, delays, frustrations, holding off on things. I guess perhaps waiting until we feel is the right time, but you know, tick-tock. Like I said, for some, it might already be too late. Delays in travel, communication. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not it. I'm like, that didn't sound right. There we go. I'm like, that's Eight of Wands. That's not right. Delays in communication. Seven of Wands. Giving up, feeling overwhelmed or overly protective, feeling overwhelmed by challenges or responsibilities, competing or comparing against others, feeling vulnerable or inadequate. Again, we're unsure if our offer will be received. Oh, maybe we're still struggling financially, and we don't want somebody to view us as, you know, that's the reason why we're coming back. But again, this takes time. As long as there is consistent effort being put in and honesty is being applied, genuineness, you know, don't let financial issues deter you from speaking up. Need to build self-esteem and confidence, especially if we're looking to make an offer. You know, get your confidence up, get your self-esteem up, you know. Communicate what you want to say because you're dying to. Need to build self-esteem and confidence and have faith that you can achieve, even in regards to your career and stuff. You know, things take time. Don't give up, but put in the effort. It's also feeling judged or criticized, being questioned, staying in challenging relationship. Again, it's also avoiding conflict. Compromise, you know, being willing to compromise, especially if that includes taking off the mask and revealing truths that may not be so flattering to one's character. Again, but it's only going to help you because whoever you were dealing with already knows. It's also something that's not worth the struggle, taking things too far or being overly aggressive about protecting one's turf. Is again things that have backfired because we've been too much still trying to be controlling, because controlling the outcome, controlling people's perceptions of us, being in relationships where we can control our environments, the situation. So again, these kind of things backfiring. You know, or we're wanting to get out of a situation that we felt that wasn't worth it anyway. Then I said a lot of masculines are leaving their current situation, looking to, again, expand their horizons. The world is your oyster. Huge potential. Understanding one's ambitions and what must be done, especially if we're needing to get out of situations that we know is not going anywhere or we're in for the wrong reasons. Having an enthusiastic approach to life and a passion for adventure. Again, not being afraid to step out of our comfort zone, to embrace change, to move forward. It's a spark of inspiration on a path forward, discovery, considering long-term plans. Again, what we want long-term, which a lot of masculines have realized that what they want is to reconnect with the feminine and perhaps, you know, offer long-term commitments. It's also about overseas travel because, as I mentioned, woman of the world, we have the Two of Wands here, so the masculine and feminine might be at a distance from each other, different city, state, country, and so the masculine is, again, leaving their situation and perhaps needing to travel to see the feminine, someone who's at a distance. decisions. Stick to what you know or expand your horizons. Taking a risk, exploring one's options, patience and focus on intent, patiently waiting for the rewards, watching your ideas manifest again, but it takes effort, it takes courage. Page of Swords is passion, enthusiasm, new projects or ideas, encouragement again to move forward, to get the wheels in motion despite any challenges that might potentially be in the way. Aligning with you, aligning with others who don't stifle your direction again, who inspire growth in you, even if it in the no better growth partner than the one that holds up the mirror to show you all the things that got to go, and they both do that for each other. It's about the truth seeker. It's also about having the ability to learn and grow. And how do we show that? By getting out of our comfort zone, by leaving behind behaviors or relationships that we're in for the wrong reasons, or things that we do that self-sabotage or hurt other people. Again, it's time to show that we've learned and grown and move beyond that. Ideas, communication again, information, discussing ideas with others. Again, if we're looking to try to get back with someone, discussing that, discussing long-term plans. Ground one's thoughts before speaking. It's also a level of tension and conflict, again, chaos and conflict, because there is still some obstacle we're needing to overcome in order to reconcile. And the obstacle mainly has been the masculine's ability to be truthful. Something that may teach you something about yourself. Obviously, hopefully, this situation has taught you something. It's time to prove oneself. The Five of Wands, engage in conflict, competition, petty arguments, differing beliefs. Again, trying to resolve conflict, as the guidance has been. Little progress, only conflict. Problem solving, again, trying to figure out how to overcome this. Encourages an enthusiastic approach to change. Currently scattered energy that needs clear strategy. Again, personal struggle, conflict, either internal or external, causing tension and confusion. Again, the masculine is all confused. And the feminine, what she's thinking, well, she's got the Judgment card here, and the Knight of Cups, and the Hangman reversed. The Knight of Cups was in reverse, and then the Page of Wands. So obviously, it's about using one's judgment again, possible reconciliations. People might be looking for forgiveness, wanting to make the right decision in regards to a situation. Again, wake-up calls. Calls for a period of self-reflection and evaluation, coming to a point of a deep understanding about common themes throughout your life and how to avoid or change them in the future. Again, this is also recognizing our own patterns, not repeating them, our karma, whatever happened in the past. Again, living and learning, and applying that in regards to this, whatever is coming to approach you here. Close to reaching a significant stage on your journey. It's the wake-up call. A need to live your life a different way and to be true to yourself. It's also about new possibilities of a fulfilling life that serves your highest needs. A need to take action. Again, lessons learned, wisdom. It's about release as well. A life-changing decision. Again, we're trying to decide on the path here, and whatever path we choose is going to have a long-term effect. For some people, this is a twin flame or a soulmate situation that could be your life partner. So This decision of whether or not to deal with this person or this situation again is I'm gonna say is a big one, because it's going to determine your course, your path from here on out. That's why I said is don't be afraid, but know what you're dealing with and allow things to unfold naturally. Don't just because someone rides in on a white horse offering you everything you've wanted, make you think that you should just take them back on a whim. Again, allow people to prove themselves over time. Use your judgment. And then we have the Knight of Cups. It's not trying not to be unrealistic in regards to whatever offer might be coming in, not getting caught up in the fantasy and romanticism of it. It's also about lacking commitment, feeling overly emotional, jumping to conclusions without having all the facts, acting from emotions and not logic. Again, use one's judgment in regards to this situation. It's also initially something that seemed good, but later turns into something not so swift, leaving you feeling disappointed. So again, for some people who are not looking to go back into that, this is the judgment that the feminine is making, that they are not really looking to go back into something. But, this could also just be their fear of this repeating, not wanting to deal with players, people that are unfaithful, people that are deceptive. So the feminine is trying to use her better judgment. In the reverse, Hangman here is the need to see things from a different perspective, or we're trying to, or we have, in regards to a situation. Something that could bear fruit, but we might need to change our viewpoints a little bit. Again, in regards to forgiving and learning and being open to allowing someone to possibly prove themselves and allowing a reconciliation to happen. Willing not wanting again to be the victim, to invest in something and have nothing come back. It's also a catalyst of what's to come. Putting off making a decision, stalling the inevitable. It's also a loss of faith or a need to restore faith in a situation. To be at peace. It's also preoccupied with self and being unwilling to compromise. Acting selfish, arrogant, or disengaging. Again, so maybe we're so adamant about our position that we might be unwilling to compromise or come together with somebody because of stuff that happened in the past and because of how they've treated you in the aftermath. But again, it's maybe, as we've been told, for some, don't be so fast to judgment in a situation, because perhaps it could turn out differently than what you're expecting. If you're expecting the worst, if you're expecting somebody to be whatever, perhaps there has been growth, there is potential here. But again, use discernment. You know what I'm saying? And Page of Wands. Similar to the Fool, a free spirit. It's all about change and new beginnings, passions for life, encouraging for change. Again, this is all about change, embracing change. We have multiple cards here talking about change, talking about forgiving. Out of chaos and conflict can come peaceful resolutions over time. It's about overcoming our fears, because the feminine could be fearful again of love, of opening up because of the past. This person can be fearful of love and opening up because of the past. People might be wanting another chance, but some people might not be wanting to repeat mistakes again. people's idea or judgments are based on what is being presented to them, as well as the past. So again, as I reiterate many times for the masculine, how you present yourself is very important. It's very important if you're looking for another chance. It's also the messenger of unexpected news. Trusted friend devoted to your interests and helpful. Someone who's honorable and genuine. Perhaps this is what you're hoping for, to have somebody like that, because nobody wants someone who's deceptive and against us. Encourages you to express yourself, to follow your creative urges. You know, beautiful creative visions that can bring change into the world. Again, this is for the feminine or for anybody with finances and career. Make sure that you're still focusing on you and your own growth and your own forward movement and direction in regards to your career, you know, what it is you came to give to the world. Like, don't lose sight of that. Everything has to be balanced. You know, but again, for some people, they might be wanting to move forward and not deal with the situation anymore, look for new opportunities, you know, but for some, they might be considering this, but they're just unsure of what to make of this out of the blue, wanting to come back together. And for the masculine, what they're feeling is very soon. They're trying to figure out, or they know very soon they're going to be making an offer. And they're trying to stay optimistic about the situation because they want a new beginning. And they're hoping that it's safe for them to love, or for them to express their love. Because they feel that they want love, and they also feel that you deserve love. And they're trying to free themselves from their current karmic situations, or free themselves from any of the behavior patterns that have held them back in life, or that have caused them to sabotage things, to lose relationships. Again, free themselves from their shadow aspects. They're also, you know, trying to free themselves, like I said, from their current situation, to take back control of their life, to pursue what it is that's in their heart, you know. And they want to give this relationship a chance. And they want to heal the situation. And they want to allow their passions to shower you with love and all of that. Now, the feminine feels, well, she's perhaps she's feeling some fears again, in regards to the situation. Or she fears, you know, this is going to repeat, this codependency from this past life relationship, or she again she fears going back to this. And we have let your friends help you. So either she's looking for people to help her to kind of heal from this situation and get herself out there. Or again, she's fearing people coming, not looking for love, but they're looking for help. And like she's questioning, you know, either again, she's looking to release herself from the situation and look for true love elsewhere, or she's questioning the genuineness of this offer. We got honeymoon here, you know, wondering again, can we move on to calmer waters? Can we leave the pain of the past behind? You know, can true love happen here? Should she put in the effort into this past life relationship? Should she overcome her fears? Or again, this is about not wanting to go back and looking to move on towards true love and looking to release the ex, for some. Or this is again the same as over here, wanting to release the past, release the pains of the past, you know, forgive, so that forward movement can be had towards true love. You know, but then we also have deception here. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Again, people are wondering, can this person be trusted? Can I forgive people from their deceptions in the past? Are they still, the same old, coming here trying to like say whatever they got to say to get back in the door? There's again not wanting to make the wrong choice. So, as I said before a million times, masculine, how you present yourself is going to play a big role. And it's not just how you present yourself, for the first 2 weeks. It's about consistency. And then we have soulmates. We know this is the soulmate, but we also know the soulmate is deceptive. So, and we're wondering again, could there be new love, or should we move towards a new soulmate and new love because the old one just doesn't change? So, again, the feminine, either she don't know what to think about you, about giving a second chance, or some are convinced that there's no going back because you've kind of you've ruined that. So again, perhaps if you'd like a personal reading, we'll know for sure what's going on in your situation. As I mentioned. Now with the feminine, the advice for the feminine is the Desert Prince, survival and false promises. This is in the challenge position. And for the Phoenix, resurrection, surrender to change is the other part of this advice here. So let's see the 19. And I thought this was going to be a shorter reading. But it's not. The 19 Desert Prince and the Challenger. Don't be fooled by the beauty of the Desert Prince now, for you're being faced with a mirage. Sometimes you can't see the truth because your thirst for achievement and recognition may blind you to the true nature of your situation. Perhaps, too, circumstances prevent you from being able to see with clarity. Beware when faced with something that seems too perfect, miraculous, and easy. That's why I said people coming in all of a sudden, knight in shining armor out of the blue, offering their love, but they weren't offering the truth before. They weren't offering, holding themselves accountable or offering any answers or consoling when they were caught in their lies and deception. Again, perhaps given silent treatments or avoiding it because maybe before they thought they were winning in their current situation, and now they feel like that there was a losing situation. They're trying to come back. So again, be wary of offers that are coming in. Know what you're dealing with. Don't rush into anything. Allow people to show and prove over time. And if you can tell if somebody's just coming to you with the same old, if you think it's too good to be true, it is. Again, be wary. Pay attention to the false promises at this time. Don't be swayed by shortcuts and flattery. The best way out of this is to accept that every life has a desert period. Just accept this for now and cross it one step at a time. That's why I said take things slow. Allow people to prove. You will be led to green pastures and fresh, clean water with divine appropriate timing. So again, proceed with caution should be the title of this. Be open, but proceed with caution. 29. Again, people might be still trying to get away with stuff. 29. The Phoenix appears as your ally to celebrate your journey and to ensure your ultimate success. This is true even if it appears that you've just passed through a metaphorical experience of death or are currently enduring a perception of failure in your life. Death and rebirth are related when you enter the realm of the Phoenix. Seen in this light, nothing truly dies, but rather changes from one ending directly into a new beginning. The Phoenix is constantly reinventing itself and rises up whole and new and even more powerful with every death it experiences. This could signal an end of a relationship or of a dynamic within one, or an end of a job, a project, or even a life. Perhaps no failure is involved, but it's time for a complete overhaul of your circumstances. You may be tired of what you're doing, or you may know intuitively that it's time to move on and try something new. Again, some people are just saying, you know what, I'm looking for new love. Or, again, re-entering into a situation, but applying those lessons, not being the same way that you were before, not being a doormat, having boundaries, not allowing yourself to be fooled by pretty words or temporary actions. Again, a change in a dynamic, because you've become empowered. Whatever you do now will be indeed a successful endeavor, for rebirth is imminent. So whatever the case, a death of the old and a celebration of new life are called for. So that's good for the feminine. And for the masculine, advice is the spiral dancer, circuitous root in perception in the challenge position, and the spirit whisperer, divine guidance and higher knowing, also in the challenge position. So number 5. It seems as if you're getting caught out of breath, going in the wrong direction. Sometimes you're so busy dancing to your own tune that you find yourself out of step with everyone else. Perhaps now is the time to regroup, sit down, and rest for a while until the rhythm calls you to the dance again. The spiral dancers is a gentle one, so be still and know that you're always loved. If your question is about a relationship, don't be too assertive now. This is a time to be receptive and allow someone else to take the lead and show you his or her true nature, show his or her true nature to you. At the same time, be careful of being manipulated. You will know the truth about your situation clearly if you sit this dance out and observe. Or, again, if you were the one needing to show and prove, as I've mentioned before, allow something to happen gradually over time. Don't come rushing in, trying to be the knight on the cup again, because you might take people off guard. Be gentle in one's approach, whether you're giving on the giving end or the receiving end of whatever's coming. You know, allow things to unfold naturally, and be careful again of trying to manipulate things in order to get what you want to. Be careful of being manipulated or the other way around. Don't use any manipulation tactics. Don't go over the top. Just be real, just be genuine, and allow people to do that with you as well. And then number 3, as an ally, the spirit whisperer, as a challenger, the spirit whisperer warns you that you're about to go astray and you need your guidance. Red flags are waving and you must pay attention lest you find yourself cleaning up messes you didn't even know you've made. She challenges you to start again and to trust your intuition. In time, you will be back on track. On this occasion, you can't possibly go wrong since you are that much more aware of the possible challenges you need to step away from. If this is about a relationship, you may be repeating something in your past that you don't need to relearn. Stay away, as this may end up a costly distraction. That said, lessons learned over and over make for great wisdom later. So, as I said, just be genuine. Be wary of your approach so as to not repeat the same mistakes. And again, and don't be so much into the woo-woo. Perhaps there are other areas in one's life that also need focus, especially if we're dealing with finances and career. Because we don't want to enter into something the same way we left it again. It's about getting our stuff together so that we can be a good partner for someone, so that, we're entering into relationships based on love, not need. Getting our stuff together is very important so that we don't repeat. And don't stay in anything that you feel will be not in your highest and best. Be clear on your intentions of what you want, and follow that. Again, and watch your approach. Those might be your red flags. Don't repeat ways of being that were in the past because they didn't work, and it might make more of a problem for you. It's time to start anew. Trust your intuition, and you can't go wrong. As it says, on this occasion, you can't possibly go wrong since you're that much more aware of possible challenges that you need to step away from. This includes our own self-destructive behaviors. You know what I'm saying? This goes for both. Now, the advice for you both is, again, heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Engagement, your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Separation, time apart from your partners on the horizon. So again, this card talks about healing the divide, or, you know, if something might not come together as quickly as you would hope, it might take, again, some effort, some time, but it has the possibility to become better over time. You know, maybe there is an engagement here in the future. And this is also a separation card. It discusses how the spirit, the universe, when this separation occurs, it helps you both in your learning and growing and healing, so that you can have a love life that ascends to a higher level of commitment, you know, with honesty. And love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Again, self-love, self-respect, boundaries, consideration for other people, seeing both sides of the coin. Again, all these things make you more attractive. Accountability, honesty, that shows that you love yourself enough to not continue to be deceptive or to allow deceptions. You know, have self-respect. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And then we have finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life. Again, they always reiterate this, so to not repeat the karma of a codependent situation or your own karma in regards to finances and career that comes out in romantic relationships. You know, make sure you make the effort, get that going for yourself. And then we have unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So for some, there isn't, and some are just moving on, or they're saying you need to put in the effort here in order to have love, the possibility for love to come in. Make the effort, show and prove, get your finances in order, show you're not coming into something just, again, to looking for help. If you want to change this around and slowly get to know each other as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And again, let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally, but express your love. You know, because unrequited love is not going to get you any love. You're going to have to be able to be vulnerable, open up, to be honest, to not be afraid to admit your deceptions, your mistakes, or whatever. If you want something to come together, and make sure you're putting in the effort in regards to your finances and career, as I mentioned, and then forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. So this encouragement always to heal. And then the other advice here is the Altar Princess. Preparation, prayer, sacred ritual. Or some of you might not be meant to be romantic partners, and maybe you're meant to just work together, or maybe you're meant to start off collaborating and working together and allowing things to unfold naturally, and maybe there's potential for some love to grow or manifest. It doesn't have to be jumping into love right away, especially if we're needing to prove ourselves worthy of another chance or to be trusted again. So again, don't get so deterred if someone isn't willing to just jump into a relationship with you. You know, take things slow. Maybe you have something to do with work-wise together again. The Altar Priestess, again, preparation, prayer, sacred ritual. This was in the reverse. And then Gaia's Garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. That was also in the reverse. And then this is it, as we've gone over an hour. 39. Are you degrading yourself in any way or lessening the importance of your impact in the world? Have you allowed someone to dishonor you? Have you failed to stand up for your beliefs in order to get something you want? The altar priestess warns that continuing on this path could bring you trouble, as you may be aligning yourself with lower ideas as your companions. Another message she brings you is this: never sell yourself short when it comes to your intuition. You're always led to the highest ground when you follow your inner guidance. An important responsibility is brought to you when the altar priestess comes as your challenger. You're being required to be a spiritual warrior and to have courage. Be ready, respect yourself, and believe in your purpose, as you're being chosen to be the embodiment of the sacred in the world. In essence, you're challenged to be the best you that you can be out there. You can do it, and Spirit is counting on you. And then 18, when Gaia appears as a challenger in her garden, she gently points out that you've forgotten to give back to the world, or perhaps you've become lazy, expecting fruit to fall from the tree while you rest below its leaves. This includes, not putting in the effort that's needed. Just expecting perhaps to just be able to walk back into something. Gardens require tending, water, and food for the soil. Everything you have within you is needed in the world, so don't underestimate the power of what you have to offer. Timely effort is called for when Gaia challenges you to help her in the garden, so ask not what you will get, but what you can give. You'll be pleasantly surprised by this change of perception. Be careful not to procrastinate too much, or the window of your current opportunity might close. That's why they have the tick-tock. Yet even if you do miss this one, as long as you're willing to help in the garden, you will most certainly see another. Maybe. But it's just saying, don't put off something, especially if you've put it off for a long time already. Don't expect things to just come like nothing ever happened. Be willing to put in the work. Don't be deterred by the efforts that you're going to have to put in to manifest whatever that might be. Your finances, your relationships, fight for what you want. Get out of the fear. Don't underestimate yourself and what you have to offer to a relationship, to the world. And again, don't be given just because you're hoping to get something, especially if you're the one needing to prove something to get someone back. If you're not going to be welcomed back right away, again, don't let that deter you from continuing to put in the effort, because more than likely the other person put in a lot of effort into you and was getting nothing in return. So if you want to prove that your love is just as deep and you can be just as whatever, don't be deterred by someone not taking you back just because you're coming with your cup, especially if you have to prove yourself. You have it within you, but if you don't put in the effort, then the opportunity might pass you by. If you're going to let fear or any kind of thinking it's going to take a long time, they won't take me back right away. It's like, well, maybe they shouldn't. Maybe you need to take things slow. Maybe you need to focus on your finances and career so that they don't think that you're coming in just for that reason, or because it's just also what you need to be doing. Whatever it is, I send you love and light. I wish you healing and luck in regards to this and anything else you might be going through. Please like, subscribe, and share, and leave comments. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.